Hello children, it's Pastor Matthew here for our Children's Praise lesson. Now we're going to look at question 72, and we're still talking about the seventh commandment, which is to not commit adultery. So you're learning all sorts of big words, but actually it's really simple because it's always a matter of the heart. Now here's the question from question 72. What does the seventh commandment forbid? The seventh commandment forbids thinking, saying, or doing anything sexually impure. So, we know what adultery is now. Adultery is breaking our promises, but particularly only adults can do that because it has to do with marriage. And I know you know what marriage is. Marriage is one man and one woman, and we've learned this before, right? Walking. And what happens is you get the number 7 because they walk. And one man, one woman have a bunch of kids. And that's number 7. Seventh commandment. So you have to be able to be an adult to be married. But when you're married, you make a promise that you will be with that person forever and be committed to them and never leave them under any normal circumstances. So it's a real commitment of love. So it's bigger than a pinky promise. It's a ring promise. That's why we have rings on our fingers when we get married, to always remember the promise we made. Now, if we break that promise, that could be called adultery, which has to do with sexual immorality. So it's kind of like just the desires that you have. Did you ever just want to eat a bunch of Oreos? Or did you ever just want to have a bunch of chocolate cake? And your mommy and daddy said, no, you can't do that. Even though you feel like you want to, it's not good. It's bad for you, right? It's not healthy. So look at this picture. You see somebody eating everything they want, and they're really fat and unhealthy, and it's not good for them at all. Or look at the difference, right? You have someone who starts to eat really, really bad, but then they change their desires, and they start to eat really, really healthy. And you see the difference, how the two people look differently? One's really fat and unhealthy and is ruining their life and how God made them. And the other person's becoming healthy and strong, how God intended them to be, right? So this is what it's like to be sexually impure. Now, here's a Bible verse for that. In 1 Corinthians 6:13, it simply says, food is meant for the stomach, and the stomach is meant for food, and God will destroy them both. But the body is not meant for sexual morality, but the Lord, and the Lord for the body. So that's our Bible verse today, that we learned that promise, the marriage promise, is one man and one woman together, and keeping that promise means being free from adultery.